let's divert to Kalen Deboer, since obviously you know his work rather well, which was sterling up until this past season. Of course, the meteoric rise through the FCS and Fresno State, and then, of course, Fresno State on into Washington, and a national championship game appearance and 25 wins and 3 losses. But they didn't take too kindly to 9-4 at Alabama. So how well prepared do you think he is for that job, and how do you see that fit?
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm one of the few that doesn't mind what Kalen did, because what exactly you said, 25-3, a Sugar Bowl win, a Pac-12 title win, the last one. So I knew there was no way, no matter what he did at Alabama this season, he was not going to live up to the expectations. But I don't think it's as bad as what it could have been. I mean, and I say that fully knowing they lost to Vanderbilt, but you also still beat Georgia, where we were going through the schedule. Like, how many wins do you think Alabama really going to have in Kalen's first year? And I was like, he's going to have that one or two that is inexplicably a loss that you can't explain, and you'll look back, because that was the UCLA game in 22, where you go down on a Friday night to UCLA. The talent was not even comparable. Like, UW should have won that game, and Penix had one of his probably worst games, and I say worst games, still threw for 300, still did all those sorts of things. Just had a couple of picks, and one that caught him at the very end of the game, but they only lost by a touchdown. So they're going to have a couple of those, and I would again implore the Alabama fans, no matter who's the quarterback this fall for Alabama, miles better than Jalen Milroy. I don't mean that as a shock, because I think he's a fantastic athlete, but for what Kalen needs in that system, this year was straight up just almost like Will Rogers at Washington, where you're just going to make do with what you got. And then next year, we're really going to kick into high gear, where I believe Austin Mack is probably going to be the guy. Although every time I talk to somebody at Alabama, they say it's Julian Sayin or who's the other, Ty Simpson.
Well, you get, oh my word, I talk about him all the time. Kylie, can't think of his last name. He's freshman. Kylie, can't think of his last name.
No, you're good.
The kid that's been there forever, Ty Simpson.
That was the one. Yeah, that was the one that I was trying to think. People are like, hey, I think it's Ty's job to lose. And I'm like, I don't sleep on Austin Mack. Like, now that Ryan Grubb is back with Kalen, that is the key for me. Where that's only the second time I want to say in 10 years that those two have been not on the same staff.
Keely Russell, that's his name. He's the second string or third string quarterback, however it shakes out. But he's the hotshot freshman coming in, true freshman. Yeah, Ty Simpson's been there forever. Austin Mack was a top 50 overall player in the nation. So a lot of people discounting him because they got the hotshot freshman. Then they just figure, well, Ty Simpson's going to be the safe pick until they get the hotshot freshman. Well, you got a top 50 overall player who's probably ready to roll at this point after a year in the system.
So I'll tell you this. I talked to Ryan Grubb after Austin Mack signed as a true freshman. This is back, I think, would have been probably February 23. So this was before the national championship run, but clearly we knew what Michael Penix was already going to be because you had the 22 season. He said Austin Mack is different than any quarterback I've ever had. That goes from Hainer, that goes from Mike, that goes from all of them. And it's his size. He has the arm talent, but he's also got the athleticism. So you have that perfect marriage of Ryan's still going to want him to be your pass-first quarterback, but he's got the ability to run and scramble. And I think that is ultimately what's going to separate him from Ty Simpson. Now, Russell might end up being the better long-term guy, but I think for this year, probably they're going to give it to Austin Mack and just see what you can do. And then I would kind of, say similar to DeMond, where you got this year and then still next year after that to sort things out. Ty will honestly probably transfer. I wouldn't be surprised. That's just, again, my personal opinion from an outsider's perspective, because knowing Kalen himself, freshman, I don't think he would transfer that quickly. But yeah, I think people and Alabama fans will be pleasantly surprised as long as Austin Mack can. Granted, the last time I saw him, he was holding the ball for like 7-8 seconds too long, but he was also 16 years old as a true 16, 17 years old as a true freshman. So I don't hold that against him. I would imagine he's certainly grown and gotten more comfortable watching Jalen last season. And I think kind of he needed that season. But look, now you got two. You watched Mike do it for a year. You got to watch how Alabama is going to do it. Now put it all together because you got the skill talent around him. I mean, if you got Ryan Williams, you're happy.